Today I'm going to show you chords in the key of C in their most basic minor, major or diminished form and how we get those chords. This will explain why certain chords are either minor, major or diminished in a key. So for example, why a D minor chord is in the key of C but a D major chord is not in the key of C. First of all, I'm just going to show you the chords. And if you already know the chords in the key of C and you just want to know why these are the chords in the key of C, then you can skip this part using timestamps in the description. We have 7 chords. We've got C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, and B diminished. These are the chords in the key of C in their most basic minor, major or diminished form. Now they are not the only chords in the key of C. You will get variations of these chords. So for example, C major 7 or D minor 9 would both work in the key of C. Chords like C major 7 and D minor 9 are called extensions. You can also play these chords in different ways. So for example, there's a C major bar chord here, and as you can see it has the same notes as the C major open chord, just in a different order. As long as it has the notes C, E and G, it's still a C chord. I've also numbered them 1 to 7, so you might see videos that talk about things like a 2-5-1 chord progression. In the key of C, that would be a D minor chord, then a G, then a C. A more common progression you might hear in pop music would be something like a 1, 5, 6, 4. So in the key of C, that would be C, G, A minor, and then F. If you want to have a go at these chords, pause the screen because I'm going to move on to how and why these are the chords in the key of C. Okay, so here is the C major scale. For anyone that doesn't know, the C major scale is just all the notes in the key of C played one after another, either ascending or descending, and it sounds like this. I've wrote it out over 2 octaves, which means we go from this C to this C, and then from this C to this C. I've numbered all the notes 1 to 7 as well. I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to get the chords in the key of C. If you Google what a major chord is, one definition that you might get is that it's the first, the third, and the fifth of the major scale. So, what is the first, the third, and the fifth of this scale? Well, the first is a C note, the third is an E note, and the fifth is a G note. So we have C, E, and G. I'm also going to put a little black dot under each note of the chord, and I'll write C major in black as well, so we know which notes belong to which chords. Now, if you look at the notes of a C open chord, we can see that they are C, E, and G, and then we've got another C and another E. Okay, we can play the notes in the chord as many times as we want. As long as we've got C, E, and G, it's still a C chord. You could also play this as a bar chord. And if you don't know where the notes on the guitar neck are, you could learn where they are, or if you want to quickly check using a guitar neck diagram like this, then you can do. So if you Google guitar neck diagram, you should find a picture similar to this. So how do we get the next chord in the key? Well, all I'm going to do is take the notes of the C major chord we've just created and move each note up to the next note in the scale. And I'll colour these in blue. So we end up with a D, an F, and an A note. And they're the chords of a D minor open chord. And again, you can test this out. So in a D minor open chord on guitar, we have a D, an A, another D note, and then an F note. So again, same notes, just in a different order. Okay, let's quickly do the rest of the chords. And that's why these are the chords in the key of C. So all I'm doing is taking the C major chord that we started with and moving each note of the chord up to the next note in the scale. I'm going to show you another way that we can do this. Another way to do this would be with a keyboard instrument. On a keyboard, this note is C, and if I play all the natural notes one after another, we get the C major scale. So from this C to this C. I'm missing out these keys, so these are the sharps and flats. On a normal piano or keyboard, the sharps and flats are usually black and the natural notes would be white. But on this keyboard, they're actually the opposite colours. This is why I like to teach people basic music theory in the key of C first, because there are no sharps or flats in the key of C. So on a normal piano, if you just play all of these keys, you're playing all the notes in the key of C. At the start of the video, I said that this lesson will explain why a D minor chord is in the key of C, but a D major chord isn't in the key of C. That's because a D major chord would look and sound like this. And when we play a D major chord, we play an F sharp. Okay, and F sharp is not in the key of C. So again, I'm going to take the first, the third, and the fifth note in the scale and play them together. So we end up playing a C, an E, and a G note. So C, E, G, which are the notes of the C major chord. And if I take this shape and I move it up to the next note in the scale, we get D minor. And if I do that again, we get E minor, and then we get F, and then we get G, and then we get A minor, and then we get B diminished, which is the last one, and then I'll end with C again. And that's why these are the chords in the key of C. This is really obvious for piano players because they read music and they learn the note names. Guitar players often don't read music. They don't learn the pitch names of the notes sometimes, and it doesn't even occur to some beginners that the chord G is named after the G note, or that the strings are called E, A, D, G, B, E, because that's the notes that we tune the guitar to. The strings sound like the notes. So it seems really obvious, but to someone who's only been playing guitar for a year or two, a lot of the time they don't understand that at first. I'm going to do another video soon teaching you how to learn those 7 basic chords in every key, not just in C major. And then I'll probably do variations of those chords in different keys as well. So if you liked the video, if it helped you, please like and subscribe.